Hi there guys, Sam here, welcome back to another video, and you join me going through the Mark 8 Golf GTI Clubsport, and yeah, just a bit of the prices around it, comparing it a little bit to the Mark 8 Golf R as I kind of promised, and yeah, let's go through this one. So yeah, as you can see on screen, this is off the main VW website in the UK. Great news that last couple of days that we've been able to actually see the official prices. Higher than I probably would have wanted, and I think higher than a lot of people have said. A lot of comments actually recently, which has been fantastic, and 99% of them are saying it's very expensive, particularly the Mark 8 Golf R. But what a lot of people have said is that the GTI Clubsport, interestingly not shown with a little image here, could actually be the pick of the range potentially. And I'm going to go through that and my thoughts on it. So first of all, £37,215 is what the car costs in the UK, and you get an initial little bit of the features of the GTI Clubsport. So just shown here, you can see the new Golf GTI Clubsport will draw a reaction from GTI enthusiasts before it even leaves the car park. So it's supposed to be more of obviously a pumped up GTI. You get 65% tinted glass as standard. You get the driving profile select. You get the IQ LED lights, same as in the R. 18-inch wheels. Travel assist as well, which is a bit of a weird one to kind of add on, but that's quite cool. Anyway, let's get straight into actually configuring that car. So you click configure and hopefully we get a nice image of the GTI Clubsport. Fingers crossed. Is it going to load? Hi there guys, so yeah, you join me in the Golf R. So yeah, interestingly, once going through the configurator on the UK VW site, yeah, it wouldn't load. Anything about the GTI Clubsport wouldn't load. So maybe that's why the image isn't there. No idea. Yeah, something wrong with the site. But I wanted to kind of roll this into, should you potentially get one over a Mark 8 Golf R? Because they're the two cars that if you really want a Golf, you really want the top Golf, which one do you want to go for? And the GTI Clubsport is potentially a little bit of a sweet spot in the range. Let me tell you a few reasons why the Clubsport kind of does make sense. First of all, it's got 300 horsepower, and there's no sort of like over boost or anything like that. It's, as opposed to previous Clubsport models and GTI 40th anniversary editions. So it's got that going for it, which isn't that shy. It's 20 horsepower down on a Mark 8 Golf R, and you've got the weight savings over not having a four-wheel drive system. So those are all positives. And actually, on the move, it's probably the quicker car. It's only off the line where the Golf R is going to be far superior. The one thing that I loved, and I'm more of a person who's, yeah, the things that probably people don't really think about too much, I like. You know, it's got the same gearbox at the end of the day, same automatic gearbox. The brakes are exactly the same. They're enlarged over this Mark 7's into the Mark 8, and both the GTI Clubsport and the Mark 8 Golf R have the exact same braking system. So you got to think, if it can brake better because it's lighter, it's probably going to be better on the move, and it's probably going to be a bit more agile. Maybe that is the car for you when you compare it between those two. Now, if you compare the GTI Clubsport against other cars at that £37,217 price tag, it kind of makes a little bit less sense, because that's sort of on the money of an A35 AMG four-wheel drive, M135i xDrive four-wheel drive, and then, you know, you could even say the Audi S3. You know, it's only £1,000 more at just over £38,000, and that's got four-wheel drive. So, and for me in the real world, and this is why I stick with this Mark 7 Golf R, they make so much sense in the real world. they're just brilliant. It's a cold December, like coming up to the evening now, and it's just the perfect car for these types of conditions. You know, I can count honestly on one or two, maybe two hands, where a front-wheel drive car wouldn't be losing traction in this country, because the weather was so hot, the tarmac was so fresh, and everything sort of came into one, where it's not really as traction limited. It's got the, you know, the heat in the tyres to be able to, you know, get the maximum out of the performance. For 95% of the year, it's cold mornings. I start work at sort of like, you know, 5:30 in the morning. Takes a little bit of time for the tyres to get warmed up, but it's got the four-wheel drive. It gets itself going. It's fine. So for a daily perspective, I think four-wheel drive makes sense, particularly in this country. I think if I lived in a different country, where it didn't rain and it didn't snow and it wasn't cold, which I don't know too many countries like that. And if there were countries like that, I would be trying to go for like a sports car or something like that. So there's my thoughts around sort of like the four-wheel drive and front-wheel drive, and that's where the GTI Clubsport is kind of punching quite hard. And a lot of my subscribers have mentioned like the i30N, which is a very fair point. They've sort of revised that car. People have mentioned about, well, the GR Yaris seems to be the hot topic of the YouTube world, certainly. Yeah, very much a hype thing. If people are still talking about that car in 3 months, I will be very surprised, actually. I think they're going to sell plenty of them. They want to sell around 20,000. It's very good value. I think it's a very good little car. But little is the main point. You know, I can fit 5 adults in this car with a bit of luggage. You can't do that in the GR Yaris. And also, I prefer the interior. Anyway, each their own. GTI Clubsport kind of is... I've always thought it's kind of marked itself against like a Focus ST as well. Because the Focus ST has always predominantly had more power than like a standard Golf GTI, which, let's be honest, is pretty disappointing at 245 horsepower. It's not really punching. Whereas, you know, the Focus ST now is sort of getting closer towards the 300. But that car's like $5,000 less. And a lot of these front-wheel drive cars that I'm talking about are a fair bit less. I've said before that I think cash is king, and I think that's a main thing. One thing I will always say, which is on a Club Sports side, and bear in mind we're going to be getting like a 50th anniversary edition from VW soon. I mean, they come around so fast, don't they? They do have fantastic residuals. They really do hold their money. You know, I couldn't get an equivalent 40th anniversary or a Club Sport as a swap for this. I'd be giving that person or company or whatever money plus my car, which I wouldn't want to do because I love this car. So it's quite interesting. But the GTI Clubsport, I think, in its own right and within the new Golf world coming out, I think it gives people things to think about over the Mark 8 Golf R. But when you're looking at its rivals, which are not VW Golfs, it's a different proposition. I'd be looking at the Audi S3. I mean, I know it's a little bit down on power on the Mark 8 Golf R, but that badge it has better value to it. It's the 4 rings. That's what people buy. You know, I talk about Porsche all the time. It's the brand. That's really everything to a car these days. So lots of little things to talk about there. I will get back to doing a full UK configurator video of the GTI Clubsport once the VW site works properly. Do try it out yourself, and if you can't get onto it, bear in mind I release this video tomorrow, so it might have been fixed by then. Maybe it is just a VW problem and not my problem, but I will give it another go, and I will run through the full like options and what you can price it up to and all those kind of things. So I think that's important and interesting, and particularly trying to get it up beneath the £40,000 mark, which obviously is within the UK sort of tax bracket that we annoyingly have. I don't believe the GTI Clubsport is available in like markets like the US or even Australia. I think it is quite a UK specific thing, and maybe bits around Europe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think it's as widely available as the Golf R, which I don't as much like, because I like my channel in particular, as you can probably tell, is a bit of a community channel, and the Golf R for me has become that. You know, it's a global product. Lots of different things to think about. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think the GTI Clubsport is a bit more of a sweet spot? Do you think it's a cool little car? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and as always, stay tuned for plenty more videos. Thank you so much for the support. As I look up at a squirrel just there, by the way. Thank you, as always, for the support on the channel. It's always been great, and yeah, always interested to know your thoughts. But I've got plenty more videos to come as well. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you again next time. Cheers, guys. There's the squirrel. Is he going to move? He's just going to stare. There he goes. Nope. Not a bad picture, eh?